Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our new cut flower varieties webinar. My name is Christine O'Loughlin. I am the trials manager and the assistant product manager at Harris Seeds, and I'll be your moderator today. I want to take a moment to introduce our speaker, Michael Wells. Michael is the ornamental product manager here at Harris Seeds. He is responsible for working with seed breeders from around the world to trial new varieties, often for multiple years, before selecting new varieties to add to our product line. Michael works with both our sales team as well as growers to gather feedback about varieties and how they perform in different regions to make sure we are selecting the very best products to meet our customer needs. Just a few housekeeping things before we get started. This webinar is being recorded and we will make it available to you on our website after this. Attendees, you are all muted and your video is not being shared. We ask that you keep yourself muted during the presentation. If you have any questions, please use our question and answer section. We will address all of the questions at the end of the presentation and do our best to address everything. If there are a few questions we can't answer in the moment, we'll make sure that we contact you after the fact. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Michael. We do have a couple of polls just to get a little bit of a better idea of who you are and what you are growing.
Thank you, Christine. So I'm going to start off, just a heads up, feel free, as Christine said, go ahead and ask as many questions as you can. I love the feedback and I do much better with interaction, so it's a little weird to look at myself. So please feel free to interact. And we're going to go through the new varieties that you will find in our vegetable and cut flower catalog, as well as on our website. The first startup is going to be the Amaranthus Green Thumb. Amaranthus is one of those genera that I really love. It's a great direct sow item. We have a few new varieties this season that I will showcase here for you. This particular one, the Green Thumb, is going to be your upright, even though I do have it saying eggplant purple. That is not correct. It is green, nice emerald green. It is 65 to 75 days to harvest. This is your good upright one. With these, we recommend pinching around 9 inches when the plants are around 9 inches tall. With that, you're going to get great upright plumes that are great additions to bouquets. If you don't pinch them, you're going to get one large plume, which again can be usable, but will be quite large. Next is the Amaranthus Mira. This is actually one of my favorite from our new introductions. This is it actually that's out of my office. This is the dried version of it. So quite fantastic. So this one does get the nice bicolored lime green, raspberry, rose colors. I saw in the fall, there was more of the raspberry versus the lime, but it's just a nice, really, my coworkers will laugh at me, delicious look to bouquets. When I worked previously at florists, this is the type, a lot of times that would be used, the dangling types, for dyeing. So if people are looking for funky colors, it's a good one that could be dyed. Again, with the nice raspberry rose color, really pops with the lime. With these, as well as I mentioned with the other Amaranthus, great to pinch these to get smaller ropes. However, if you want something nice and large, go ahead and don't pinch. Again, this was my favorite, definitely one worth giving a try. Oshberg, this is a great 65 to 75 day as the others. Direct sow, this one and the Pygmy torch are pretty similar. I'm going to bounce back and forth. They both are upright, have that nice rich crimson color. But you'll see a little bit different texture between the two. I've had great success with both with pinch and unpinch, similar to the other Amaranthus in that respect. Just take a look and I'll go back and forth just so you can kind of see the comparison of the two. And you'll see with the Pygmy torch in the photo we have here, and the back is Hot Biscuits, which is one of my other favorite Amaranthus. Just a nice, cool color. Not new, but one to definitely add in with the rest of these. Again, all of these can be direct sown in the garden. Succession planting is ideal. Plant every couple of weeks for production all summer. Next, we have a new crop for our catalog, Anemone. This is one of those cool season crops. They definitely need to be grown in cool temperatures. 45 to 55 degrees is ideal where you're going to get the best stem length. Again, check your zones. Make sure you're going to have at least 3 months of the cool temperatures to get that best height. Right now, we're just offering the mix. If you're interested in single colors, reach out to us and we can see what the minimum is and see if we can get those for you. Each plant is going to produce up to 18 flowers, which is pretty fantastic. These are well known as being used for wedding bouquets. So pretty popular for the wedding industry. The Campanula, we've offered for many years the Champion Pro series, which is a smaller bloom. Cicada, who's the breeder on these, has come out with a Champion 2, which is a bigger bloom, but the closeness of the blooms is much tighter than the older even Champion series. So we are offering 4 colors. Unfortunately, there was a crop failure with the blue, or sorry, 5 colors. The blue this season, so that will not be available, but the lilac, pink, rose, and white are the other colors. Quite fantastic. Again, these are similar to not quite as early as Anemone, but they do like cooler temperatures. Here we've got some tips for you for if you're going to be growing in a greenhouse versus if you're doing outdoors. If you're looking for one big plume, again, use the 4x4 spacing. If you're looking to have multiple stems, go with the 12x12 spacing. One big thing, the next few slides I will talk about is we've notoriously offered mixes with many of our cut flowers. We have more and more growers who are looking for single colors. That is something, depending on the type of grower you are, you will see what works for you. Some people like just walking out and picking all the purple at one time, all the orange at one time. And some people like having that mix where they don't have to have as many of one variety of one series in a row. So Celosia Selway series, we've carried this for quite a while. We're picking up the purple, the terracotta, and the white individually. There are many other colors as well, so that's something down the road. If you are interested in, just let us know. We can see what the minimums are to get those for you. These, again, are a great filler, or they can also be a great large accent piece. So similar to some of the other crops, if you pinch, you're going to get a lot smaller plumes or smaller bunches, versus if you do not pinch, you're going to get one large celosia head. So definitely take a look at these. The Sunday series, another celosia we've offered the mix for years. This is going to be your nice plume shaped. This is the first in the industry professional grown cut flower in that plume shape. They are just fluffy and fantastic. Again, we've offered the mix for a while, now offering the bright pink, gold, orange, and the purple. We've got a good supply of all the seed right now. With these also do well with pinching or not pinching, again, all relative to the size you were looking for. Now I move on to the Dianthus Sweet Series. So the Sweet Series we've offered a mix for a few years, and we have the black cherry as well for a while, which is that nice dark color. This year we're picking up the Neon Purple and the Rose Magic, which are both new introductions from P&M this year. So the Sweet Series Dianthus, this is an annual. It does like the cooler temperatures. Many people looking might be familiar with the Amazon series of Dianthus. This is what I would do with planting these is I would do one succession of the Sweet Series early on in the cool season, and then the Amazons for the summer production because they can handle the heat, and then do another succession of the Sweet Series as the season starts to cool down. That way you have a whole season of Dianthus production. And again, the reason I picked up the Neon Purple and the Rose Magic is those are our two most popular colors from the from the Amazon Neon series. So definitely take a look at those. Again, great for succession planting. These were one when I farmed, when talking to florists about Dianthus, they're like, oh, I can get it from the wholesaler. And then once they actually saw this Dianthus in their hands, they went crazy for it. So nice big heads. And you can pick them early when they're still in the quite green stage and they have a cool texture to them, and they'll just keep opening up until you see what you have here on the slide. Again, Sweet Series is ideal for the cool season. And if you want a similar look in the heat of the summer, look at the Amazons. Another new crop for us on the seed side is the Lisianthus. So we also offer plugs and liners, which are pre-started plants. And Lisianthus is one of our top products through that program for cut flower growers. Lisianthus is not a great item if you're a beginning grower. Definitely make sure you have production and germination down before you try to jump into Lisianthus. It is a slow crop, so it may germinate quite well for you right in the beginning, but a flower farmer friend of mine always says that relative to Lisianthus is there's 100 ways to kill it before it's time to transplant out in the field. So if you don't have the production down of even a Snapdragon or Rudbeckia, you should probably wait on the Lisianthus. But one of the series we are offering now is the Mariachi 2 series. The blue, carmine, pink, and pure white. This one here is that generally referred to as quadruple bloom. It's noted as extra double. Quite nice scent as well. When I farmed, I did a bunch of Lisianthus, and the thing I got the most is people thought they were roses. But these last a very long time in the vase, and they just give a great look that everybody loves. So the Mariachi series here. Next, we've got the Roseanne series. So this is more your antique colors, which are really on trend right now. You can visit our website and these products online to learn more about the different groups. Group 1, they're going to bloom earlier. Group 3 is going to bloom later. That's the simple piece of it. So these Roseanne series, great blooms, 2 to 3 inches. Again, that rose shape, nice scent to them. But these colors are just, if anybody's growing cafe au lait for the wedding world, these go right along well and play well with those muted tones. So definitely take a look at these. Again, with any of these Lisianthus, you really got to plan ahead. And you should really, within the next few weeks, be getting these in your trays and started to get ready for the season. And then the last series is the Voyage 2. So these are our large 3-inch bloom size, and these are extra frilly, like fringe frilly, depending on who you ask. These are just delicious looking. The blue is one of my favorite. It's just very eye-catching, quite nice. And with any of these series, we could potentially offer the other colors. We're looking to see what our customers are interested in. So please feel free to reach out if you have any ideas on different colors or different varieties you'd like to see. Again, we also offer the plugs and liners of Lisianthus. That's something we are reaching sow dates. So if you are interested in any of those, definitely get your orders in with our plug vendors. But Lisianthus is a great crop that you'll have customers coming back for. Poppy Champagne Bubbles. This, we are offering the mix. It's a great mix of orange, pink, red, white, and yellow. These, similar to some other crops we talked about, they prefer the cool temperatures. If you're in a high heat area, these would be more of an annual versus being a perennial, even though they are noted as being a perennial in zones 4 to 8. So keep that in mind. These are another item similar to the anemone that is great for bridal bouquets. Brides really love them. And just, they give a nice little pop of color and a nice looking arrangements. Snapdragons. So this Potomac series, we've offered the mix for a few seasons. Again, this is another one where we're picking up the individual colors. For this year, we're gonna offer the apple blossom, the lavender, the orange, red, and royal. The top sellers in the industry are the orange and that royal. Those really are eye-catching and just give a pop of color. I love this photo in the background. That's actually from, we went out to Pan American Seed last summer for California summer trials. And just the field of the Potomacs was fantastic. They're so nice, scented. So definitely take a look at those. Now sunflowers. Sunflowers are one of our top crops from seed. These, just about anybody growing vegetables can throw these in and have great success. One of our newest additions is the Sunshine Max. The Max is a series that we've been looking at for a couple seasons. They're right in line with the Pro Cut Sunriches, kind of those two series. The Sunshine Max just stood out in our trials this summer. Definitely take a look at it. It's got 3 rows of overlapping petals. So the nice thing about that, if you drop a petal, your sunflower is still sellable. Some of the older varieties are tougher. You lose a petal and you're done because you can see that space in the flower. So definitely take a look at this. It's that deep orange color. It is single stem and pollen free. With any of these sunflowers that are the single stem, most people recommend a 6-inch spacing on them. Anywhere between 4 and 6 inches kind of give you what you're used to seeing at a florist. So that nice little head. So definitely play around, see what works in your production and for your market. Again, we've had people planting as close as 3 to 4 inches to get a smaller head. The nice thing about the Sunshine Max as well is it has more of an upright facing bloom. Some of the older varieties will sit more like this, which is a little more harder to design with. So some new breeding, they're really focusing on getting an upright, not so much like this, but upright so they fit well in a bouquet or bunched together. Peradovic, this is one that is not pollen free. This is more meant for somebody who wants to do a field of sunflowers for photos, for displays, or a maze. A great product. We've been having a lot of requests for people looking to just fill a space, and this is going to be one of those economical varieties. It is a black oil type, but again, we're using it more from the display perspective. So you're going to get that golden yellow bloom with a light disc. 80 to 100 days to bloom. Back to a pollen-free single stem type, we've got the Rayon Dasol. This plays well with the Sunshine Max. They're from the same breeder. This one is a nice 50 to 60 days, so early. Quite stunning color. You can see from the pictures, this has a nice upright bloom. So definitely take a look at this one. Second to the Amaranthus Mira, my other favorite this season is the Zinnia Chrysanthemum mix. This is a really nice 3 to 6 inch cactus style blooms. The colors are outstanding. You're looking like average zinnia timing, 60 to 80 days to harvest. Your color mix is going to be the orange, peach, pink, red, yellow, white, and there'll be some odds and ends thrown in there as well. These have nice upright blooms, just like many of the zinnias, with a nice sturdy stem. With any of these zinnias, highly recommend at least 2 succession plants. One at your first, one right after your last frost, and then another about a month later. This will help you fight powdery mildew, which many of us deal with out in the field. These can succumb to them, but by having a later planting, your first planting might have the powdery and the second one will push on later into the season. So definitely keep that in mind with the zinnias. But this chrysanthemum one, it just stood out in bouquets, and even on its own, like in this mix, it was stunning. And the other piece is we have more and more people looking for mixes, more customers looking for mixes. So we've picked up 4 mixes for this season. Some people are common or are familiar with some of these variety names: the Canary Bird, which is a yellow zinnia, the Coral Beauty, the Orange Queen. Like, those are some common names. These are as close as you can probably get to like the Benares Giant, not quite as reliable with the nice double blooms. But if you're looking for something a little more economical, these are great items to look at. So we picked up these mixes based on trends going on right now. So all of these are 4 to 5 inch semi-double to double blooms. Earlier in the season, you'll likely have more semi-double, and then later in the season, you'll have more double. Again, keep the fertility up in your soil, and that'll be more reliable doubling. So the berry tart is going to be that Cherry Queen, the Coral Beauty, Meteor, and Scarlet Flame. That's that red mix to the left. And the Blushing Bride is the Polar Bear and Luminosa, the pink and the white. And then we've got the Fruity Beauty, the Canary Bird Yellow, Coral Beauty, and Orange Queen. And then a fun one, again, also plays well, similar to Blushing Bride, plays well with the Cafe au Lait color palette, Strawberry Parfait, which we've got the Ice Queen, the Polar Bear, and the Rose. And then so that's about it with the new varieties for this season on the cut flowers. The last couple of years have not been huge introductions on the ornamental side for the industry, but we are looking at 2023 product, and there's some fun stuff coming out in the future. I did also want to, as we talked about zinnias, wanted to showcase these. Benares Giant in Oklahoma are top sellers. So you'll see these bigger blooms here are the Benares Giants, and the Oklahomas are the smaller. So if there's any questions, please feel free to ask.
Michael, we did have a question concerning the Campanula. We had a customer who's wondering, given that longer days to maturity, that 130 to 100 days, is that something that they should be starting as early as March so that they can have the plants well established before transplanting outside to guarantee that they get good flowers without shorting the blooms?
Yeah, you want the plants to at least be anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks old before transplanting out. So.
You guys do have any other questions that you would like to ask Michael, please feel free to email us with any of your questions. If you think of anything afterwards or you're reviewing the webinar once we've put it up on the website, please feel free to email us. And it looks like we do have one more concerning our plugs and the easiest way to order those plugs. Again, you're going to want to call us. That's not something that we do over the website because there are a lot of different aspects that come into that with shipping. Michael, I don't know if you want to be able to speak to that a little bit with the plug department.
Yeah, so if you head to our website and go to the plug and liner page, and there's basically a how-to page on how the whole program works. So we're a broker for 5 different companies. So we don't actually start the plants for you. The 5 different companies we work with throughout the country. They will, to order, will start the product for you. Grow and Sell and Raker are the two, or Raker Robertas are the two that do the most cut flowers. So basically you'd get a hold of our price list on our website, take a look through there, see the offering. Also in the back of the vegetable catalog, we do have a cut flower breakout that shows most of the stuff that's available for cut flowers from those 2 vendors. So you can take a look at that, look at the how-to on our website, and then give us a call, and one of our plug and liner team members will help you through the process. It is something, most of the cuts are grown to order, so you do have to plan ahead. There's not a lot on availability later in the season, just sitting there waiting for you to buy, so definitely plan ahead, especially anybody looking for Lisianthus. Plan ahead on that, get those orders in soon. I can tell you, when I farmed, I did a lot of my own sewing, especially in the direct sow products. When it came to Lizzie and Snapdragons, Dianthus, all of that I ordered in plugs. The nice part about getting those in plugs is the majority of the time, if you order a 128 tray or a 288 tray, you're going to get that number of plants. These producers, they're producing more than they actually need for that one tray so that they can fill the spots. Occasionally you'll be shorted a little and you'll get refunded for that. But for the majority of the time from these growers, if you order a 288, you're gonna get a 288. It's very different from your own production where you're aiming for 288 and you grow 290 and then you end up with 15 at the end of the season, or when you're ready to transplant. So sorry, that was my Lisianthus brain. But so definitely look at your production and see if you want to spend the time sewing the stuff inside or grow the plugs in, or order the plugs in so that it's all pre-done for you.
And Michael, are there any general tips you can suggest for how to care for the Lisianthus once it is planted?
For the first couple of weeks, just make sure it's watered really well and protected from the wind. Separate from that, once they're up and running, they're pretty good. Keep up the fertility, and you can find some of the culture details on our website. Keep up good fertility on them. You will get taller stems if you're undercover, so high tunnel or greenhouse, or just have row covers. Keep that in mind if you're looking for those really tall stems on those. And the other piece many people will do with Lisianthus is pick the first bloom so that you have multiple blooms opening at once. That's what the consumer and what florists are used to seeing. So I think that's the thing.
We also have a question about amaranth. One of our customers has had an issue with amaranth wilting. They're wondering if perhaps the stems were too big for the blooms, or if there might be another issue that you could address without necessarily having a lot of background on diseases or when they planted. It's certainly.
I haven't seen much issue with amaranth in particular, although some people do think that the hanging types are wilting even though they're not, just because they're hanging. And some of the tips of some of the upright, because they're heavier, like the tips will hang over a little bit. So sometimes people think they are wilting when they're not. However, with the amaranthus and sunflowers, another one, clean buckets. The biggest thing I would say is make sure you're bleaching or some sort of cleaning your buckets in between use. Both of those are dirty stems, like amaranth's not as hairy, but they both create a lot of dirty water. So like change your water regularly and make sure those buckets are clean. Those are the number one. If you're still seeing issues with the wilting, try hydrating your plants before harvesting. So either the night before, make sure you water them pretty good, and then harvest early in the morning if that helps as well.
And question about the Max series, is that a branching or a single stem?
Those are a single stem varieties.
Would you suggest for the Lisianthus that those flowers be staked?
Many people will use netting on them. I definitely use netting when I farmed on those just to help keep the stem straight. And that's something where you can start with the netting low, just like with a lot of other crops, and you just, as the plant grows, raise it up. So I definitely would, again, just that will help with any extra support and keep the stems thick as well.
Thank you so much, Michael. You've provided us with a lot of new varieties, and any other questions that some of the attendees have, please be sure to email us and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Again, this webinar will be made available on the website after we finish up today. So feel free to go on there and you can review it and see if anything else comes to mind with questions. We have a couple more that are coming in. In the meantime, though, we do have a small survey that we're going to post at the end of this. If you don't mind, take a few minutes to answer the survey questions. It really helps us to know what you guys as customers are looking for and to help us tailor these presentations in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.